Hi guys, Dave Pinson here. So today I want to talk about doing good, doing good in this world. We're not going to call it duty. We're not going to call it discipline or obedience. We're just going to call it doing good. People won't watch videos if anything. I find out anything that has discipline or pain or suffering or the things Jesus talked about. They don't want to hear that. They just want to hear God's good all the time, or things are really bad right now, or not that He doesn't love all those people. But I was reading Charles Finney again. By the way, Charles Finney is amazing. Um, I see certain people from certain types of churches that criticize him because he believed in free will. I found out. I'm learning words. I'm not a scholar, but I'm learning scholar words. Pelagianism. It's a fact. It's one of those words that I use the word dispensationalism all the time. A lot of people don't know what Pelagianism means. It just means free will. But apparently that's an evil thing because you take it anyway. There's a whole thing about that, right? But if you look at a person's life, you will know them by their fruits. Look at their life, not just the words they said. Because we judge people by the words they said, or even by their sermons. I know some people give great sermons, but maybe their lives are not. Maybe you know people like that. They sound really great, but on the personal level, I've known pastors that were really good Bible teachers, but when you had some help, you needed some help, they were not. They did not have that kind, pastoring, loving heart. They were like right. So anyway, Finney, people hate him. I love him. Here's what he did. Well, when he went in, here's what he did that people don't realize. People say, well, there's no altar call, and only God can call people. You can't just show up and say, let's come, like Billy Graham. You can't just show up in 45 minutes, everybody's ready to be saved. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Billy Graham said less than 5% of those people are probably walking with Christ, right? Because there's the Finney way is a better way. But yet, there's people at those Billy Graham crusades that God has been working on for years, and friends and family and things they've heard and read and things that they're ready. And so you don't know God's plan. You don't know how it worked, right? But Finney, when he the Rochester revival is the best one. That thousands and thousands of people got saved. But when he went there, he didn't do that. He didn't just say, "Oh, here's a sermon, let's go." He was there for months, and he would get a group of people, and he would preach to them until he felt an inkling from the Lord. He could see that they were ready. He could see their faces that they were starting to get on the hot seat, what they call it. In other words, man, this I need Jesus, but I don't know what. And so at that moment, then he would say, "Yeah, you ready? Let's go be a disciple. Here's what it means." Right? And then he would stay, and then he went back. Later on, they went back and they found, unlike Billy Graham, 90-some% of those people were still walking with the Lord. They still named the, oh, yeah, they didn't get saved the right way because they chose. It's like, no, brother, God chose them and then they agreed. You know, Gosh, people, the darkness of people's hearts of doctrinal stuff where they want to just flush these great people who live their life for others and just flush them down the toilet because you don't agree with this and that. Stop it. But then he says, here's one thing you should teach new converts. You can teach them that they should do good, and you could teach them that they can do more good, and not just what's required. In other words, they may feel like, well, as long as I tithe, or, I don't believe in the tithe, but as long as I give to the Lord of my fruits of my labor, and as long as I attend church, and as long as I do my best to live a godly life and say my prayers and read my Bible, then everything's good. And he says, it's not just doing that. It's doing the good that God puts in front of you. How do I do that? By loving others, by giving your life to them. And he says, what that means is if you feel an inkling in your heart, you need to listen to it. In other words, what are you talking about? So, gosh, I wish there was like somebody once. I forgot who it was. Some ladies. I forgot where she was. She felt the thing in her heart, and it was just like, why doesn't God raise up somebody to take in these homeless kids, teenagers, or whatever, homeless kids? We have homeless children all over the world, by the way, millions, and especially in South America and Asia that don't have that are orphans. We have millions of them, right? But she was in a different city, and there was people running around. These feral children, urchin children running around doing horrible things happening to them, crushed spirits. And so the Lord spoke to her and says, "Yep, somebody should do something. You're the one." So if you feel like you can do some good in this life and God's called you to do some good, then you need to teach people that are new Christians or people that are Christians that you should do it. Well, it might cost me something. Yeah, it might cost you something. Jesus said, count the cost. Oh, come follow me. Oh, I can't, Lord. I have to go take care of my father. I have to go bury I have things, I have obligations. He said, well, then you can't follow me. What do you mean? Shouldn't I take care of my obligations? So what he was saying was this, and you weren't there in that moment. I wasn't there in that moment. We don't know that man's heart. Jesus knew his heart. He knew his heart. He knew that this was just an excuse. You know, he said, I guess this could be that video. I wrote down in my video notes things I want to post about. I'll follow you, Jesus, but you know, I really believe that someday I'll follow you, but first this, I'll follow you, Jesus, but it's a lie. It's for the pit of hell. It's worse. It's like I'm reading Ecclesiastes. It says it's better not to vow than to vow. Don't do it. Don't just say that. It's like the two sons. Go work the fields. I'm not going. I'll go, Father. So the one who says I'll go, Father, doesn't go. The one who says I'm not going, I guess I better go. I could better honor my father and go do the work. Right. So that's what it's all about. It's all about giving for others, doing good things. Um, and just one more thing. I'll close with this. I guess this will be short. One of my all-time favorite, most of my all-time favorite people are from the 19th century. There's a couple from the 17th. Hardly any from the 20th. Hardly any. I mean, sorry. It seems to me like the church gets weaker. I know everybody thinks there's a revival going on. I remain unconvinced by what outward appearance, but I want to see the heart, and I want to see bars closed. I want to see, platforms closed. I want to see people quit doing stuff, and I want to see people sending people out to obey Jesus when He said, "Go into the unreached people." When I start seeing that, I'll go, "Yep, that's a real revival." But what are we talking about here? Oh, hang on, just a second, just a second. I gotta gather my thoughts. And there it is. I remember, I remember that. It was William Booth. I started talking about old guys, and then I lost my train of thought. And that's pretty easy for me to do. But then it comes back. So William Booth is my amazing person. Him and his wife, Catherine. Amazing life, amazing person. Until they became a social construct, and now I don't. Salvation Army barely got Jesus in it now. To be honest with you, they still good works are good works. That's fine, but they've become more less concerned about the person's soul, more concerned about his stomach. I'll say it that way. But man, he was all about going into the worst and worst of places. And they used to have two coats. They used to wear a coat when they went out to bring people to Christ and preach, because people would throw tomatoes, rocks, poop, urine. People throw all kinds of stuff on. So they had a coat they wore. They wore it. It got all nasty. And then when they got into a safe place, they take it off. Okay, let's learn about God. Let's follow God. Right. But it was all about people getting saved. It was all about people saved. That's what's called Salvation Army. Man, they went into 72 countries in a short period of time. They reached. No one's ever done what he's done. No one's ever done. It's not happening now. You want to talk about revivals, brother? Get sister, get back. Anyway, so I think it was his granddaughter. She was a young worker, and she comes back one day. Well, how did it go today? He talked like that. I have heard people imitate him. How did it go today? I can't do it. I don't have the British accent with the, but he taught this real deep, booming voice, man. When people like him and Moody, they can preach. No, no. Here's funny here in the Philippines. I'm hoping I don't lose track of the thought. Here in the Philippines, we have a church that's about, very tiny inside, but everybody's got a microphone. Everybody, and they always keep the microphone. The people are deaf. They always have, it's like, what do you need a microphone for? You could just talk to me. Anyway, so he says, oh, how did it go today, child? Well, it didn't go too well, Grandpa. No one came to the Lord. Well, what did you do? Well, we did our best. He says, no, that's not good. What do you mean? What, we can't do more than our best? I only have 100% to give, Grandpa. He says, no, it's not about doing your best. It's about doing God's best. What does that mean? Well, chew on it for a minute. It simply means if any man is in Christ, he's a new creation. It simply means I can do all things. Now, I can do all things is way taken out of context, and it's way. Most people like gonna fly. You know, most people think it's like part of a Rocky movie. I don't know. Rocky's been in my heart lately. It's been, which was in another video. Gonna fly now. You know, I, the tiger, I can do all things because God's going to fill me up and lift me up and give me power and strength. And I will mount up with wings of eagle and I will run and never. Yeah. But that's not what it means. It doesn't mean that. Can all this stuff happen? Yeah, it can happen. How? When you humble yourself, breaking yourself, wait on the Lord. And then it doesn't mean that you're going to do anything you want to do and you can win the World Series. That's not what it means. People say that. Oh, thank God that I won the World Series. No, it means I can go through all these things because he talks about I've learned to be a base. I've learned to go through. You can go through anything. You can go through anything because he gives you the strength. It's his power. It's his. I'm often have to stop myself. Say my ministry, my goal, my no. Your goal, your ministry, your life. The goal of the missionary is not success and da 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 da. The goal of the missionary is to do his will and to be with him. That's our goal. God bless you guys. That's all for now.